I am on and live. Facts over feelings. Good evening, everybody. Thank you all for joining. What episode is this, Tay? Where we at? 20? Episode 20? Oh my God, I've been doing this 20 times. Oh man. Okay. Let's keep going. So I hope everyone had a good holiday weekend. Mine was okay. I could say I overate a whole bunch of stuff. I ate a whole sweet potato pie by myself. I know. I hear people saying, dude, what's wrong with you? I just couldn't help it. My wife just makes damn good sweet potato pie, and I had to eat it. So it is what it is. But hey, I feel good. Nice break. Ended up hearing some really sad news. If people that follow me on Facebook, I found out that my neighbor was shot and killed. And it happened Thursday night. So Thanksgiving evening is when it happened. It was just horrible, and like I tell folks, we hear one day, gone the next. Tomorrow's not promised. The next day is not promised. The next minute is not promised. So, hold each other tight, especially people that you hold and love dearly. That you have that, and they have that special place in your heart. Hold some people close to you and love on them, because again, tomorrow is just not promised, and you just never know from time to time or day to day what's going to happen. You, like I said, here one day, gone the next. And I was literally messaging him. He wasn't responding to me. I'm like, what's going on? And then that's when I found out. We found out on Facebook that he had been murdered. So
did they say why?
No, the suspect is unknown. It was happening on the south side. He was a Hispanic guy, only Hispanic on the block. But cool guy. So we don't know what's happening or what's going on, other than they have an unknown suspect at this time. So
sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Prayers out to the family of Angel. That was my guy, man. But other than that, tonight's issue what we're going to talk about is Mr. Mandela Barnes. So if you remember the last episode, I had Mr. Jordan Roman here, and we kind of ended our segment talking about that. Mandela Barnes is putting out some feelers about jumping in this race for governor. And look what did happen. As of today, he is officially announced. And please, people, comment on it. Give me your perception of things. I would love to hear from you. So please drop any questions you have in the comment section. I got it pulled up here. So if you guys drop anything, I can answer you right away. And that does help when you guys interact with us during the live too. So if anybody got any questions, want to chime in on anything we're going to discuss tonight, please feel free to do so. But I did announce before that I did have my issues with Mandela Barnes possibly jumping in, and he did. I know a couple of things was banded around is that would that split the black vote. Possibly not. The only reason why I say possibly, because you do have a lot of uninformed people, and then they see name recognition. That's the first thing they jump on without doing good research on that person. And again, I don't have a problem with Mandela personally at all. It's just I think his time is not now. It's kind of past. Looking at the things that he's done as far as in an elected office. I think he was a state rep for a minute, or assemblyman, one or two, left that position, ran for a lieutenant governor. That's a walk-in. If the person that's running for governor is a Democrat, and then you're running as a Democrat, because how we do it here in Wisconsin, I think other states is similar, is that the governor and the lieutenant governor run two separate campaigns, even though they're running under the same party umbrella. They run two separate campaigns. So it's not like the president and the vice president of the United States, where you voting for the president, you're also voting for that person's running mate, which is the vice president. How the governorship runs is, like I said, the governor runs on his own campaign and the lieutenant governor runs on his own campaign. And when you are voting, you have to vote separately for the person that's running for governor, and you have to vote separately for the person that's running for lieutenant governor. And mostly how that works is if you're running under a certain party, let's say this last one with Evers when he ran the first time, he's running under the Democratic Party. Mandela Barnes did as well. You're literally just riding the coattails of the governor of that top ticket in. Same as when Evers ran for re-election, Sarah Rodriguez, who's the current lieutenant governor, she got in easily because she just ran under him. So people just vote down ballot. It's Democrat. Okay, she's a lieutenant. She's a Democrat. Boom, you in. Pretty simple. Left the race, left the lieutenant governorship, and then challenged at the time United States Senator Ron Klansman Johnson, who I cannot stand, because his seat was up for re-election. Mandela dropped out of being lieutenant governor, ran for that, did not win. I lost by, I think it was 1% I had an issue with that campaign. And my issue was, if you were saying that you, Mandela, were born and raised here in Milwaukee, you come out of 53206, you given all these other zip codes that you come out that were, pretty hood. I'll say that much.
Hey there.
But
my hood.
Hey, that's cool. I mean, I lived in 53206 for 15 years. Didn't have an issue. Never had an issue.
Yeah.
I'll say that much. I never had an issue. But if you're saying that, if that's your claim to fame, there is that you grew up in this side of Milwaukee, you grew up on this side of Milwaukee. Where was your presence in the Black community during that time he ran? And I really believe that he thought, or his campaign advisors, and he had some horrible campaign advisors, I'll tell you that now, and I'll get into that. Most likely advised him that, you got Milwaukee on lock. He didn't win, did he? There was a reason why in that particular election, Tony Evers won Milwaukee. Mandela Barnes did not. It's the reason why Tony Evers during at the top of that ticket, that Democratic ticket, because there was a whole bunch of other positions that were open. It's the reason why a lot of the Democrats that were running won, and he did not. He did not do any Black Talk Radio that I can recall of. And if he did, y'all put in the chat or the comments, oh yeah, he did this, he did this. I'm just going off of my memory, and that was a few years ago. He did not do any Black Talk Radio, namely one of the biggest Black Talk radio stations here we have in the city is WNOV. Did not once go there. But you had the president of the United States. You had the vice president of the United States. You got mayors, county executives. What was his name? He's DNC chair. I see his face. I think his name was Black guy. He just recently stepped down. He came in and went to Black Talk Radio. Why, out of all those high-profile individuals, did you feel it wasn't necessary for you to talk to the Black constituents of this city? Which WNOV 101.7, I'm gonna add them in there too. A lot of Black folks listen to those two radio stations. Didn't go there. I didn't see a footprint of his really too much in Milwaukee. Namely, maybe you could have put his office here somewhere. My headquarters is going to be in 53206. Rent out a building or something over there or something. I didn't see a footprint here. Nothing at all. Only footprint I saw here literally was Tony Evers had an office here. I think it was off of Appleton or something. Appleton, yeah. She didn't do Black Talk Radio. Didn't have a major footprint in Milwaukee. And I get it because it's a statewide office, so you were up in the rural areas, which you do have to win. You do have to get those counties up north here. I understand that. But honestly, how elections go here, if you cannot get Madison, which is Dane County, and Milwaukee, which is Milwaukee County, if you can't win those two counties, you're not going to win statewide. People have literally won just Milwaukee and Madison, and that has propelled them on to victory here. If you win those those two counties, especially if you're running as a liberal, because those are the two most liberal counties here in the state. If you win those two, you pretty much got it. He did not win Milwaukee. No footprint. The campaign just kept talking about peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Like literally?
Like that's all we like. That it was that same video of him buying stuff to make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and I know how to rough it, and you got this flannel shirt on. Like that wasn't authentic.
Oh, you said it was kind of resonating with the rural area?
Yes. So you left your voting block that was gonna propel you over that hump. You just kind of just said, okay, I got y'all. No, y'all, it was a reason why Kamala Harris came to Milwaukee as many times as she came here. It was a reason why the Vice President Kamala Harris had her acceptance speech. She was here in Milwaukee when she hit the total to be the front runner for the Democratic ticket here for president. It was a reason why the convention was in Chicago. She was here in Milwaukee doing her acceptance speech from the FISA reform. How you know that? Because I was there.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and that was something had never happened. I never had the party person in another state accepting the convention speech and accepting the nomination from a whole nother state. Like there was a reason why she kept coming here.
So do you believe that Mandela will try to change that and do opposite or add some in?
It depends on his advisors. And again, we'll talk about that. It depends on who is advising him. Because your campaign is only good as the people that you surround yourself with. So if you surround yourself with some people that know what they're talking about and that understand the demographics of this state, and that understand how to touch into each one of those demographics. Some you may not win, but some that you really need to harp into and touch and, like I said, make that footprint of, he'll do good. But something is telling me he's not going to have that class of folks in his camp. And I'm going to talk about that real quickly. What I mean is that white liberals, it's a good thing, and sometimes they're bad. And when I say good is that they do have their intentions are normally pure, their intentions are normally good. But a lot of times white liberals like to tell those of us of color the policies and things that we need to address our needs and our wants. And I said that's a bad thing because you can't tell me as a white man what my issues as a black man are and how certain legislation is going to be passed to fix those issues that I have in my community. You know, like for instance, the civil rights movement. That platform was not written up by white people. It was written up by black people, people of color. You had Hispanics, you had Native Americans, that civil rights movement it enveloped everybody, but it was written by the people of color to face those issues. And the bad part, again, about white liberalism is that a lot of times they get into that mode where they're advising you of things that is focused and looking out of the lens of white liberals and not a black man or not a black woman. That's the issue I have, and that's the issue that I think that what's going to happen with him, and I think he's going to fall back into that trap again. Because at that point, you're harking away from what got you to the table. Like if you saying I'm from 53206, damn sure. If I was running that, I'm having an office somewhere in 5. You're gonna see my name all through 53206. You're gonna see my name all up and through Milwaukee, everywhere. I'm gonna have everywhere. And I think he was advised very wrong, and he could have done more of helping in the background to propel Crawley up and advise them, hey, I ran for a statewide office as as lieutenant governor, along with Evers. Here's what we did as a campaign.
So seeing him in more of a supportive position.
Yes, because you've been there, you've done that. So at this point, I think you need to take your head out the ring. It's too late now. You just announced today, so it's gonna take some time.
Oh, you can't renege?
Yeah, you can always drop out.
Are you saying, but that wouldn't look?
But that don't look good right now because you just announced today. But if I were him, I would step into an advisor role and say, hey, I've been on this platform, I've done this to help prepare Crawley, because at this point, you have a lot of Black folks that were not happy with Mandela because of his lack of presence in the Black community.
So even if he did try to do a turnaround and show up, it wouldn't
like
work.
I say, a little bit too late.
Yeah.
Now, because you weren't.
Don't look forced.
You didn't. You're right, and you didn't do none of that. Excuse me. When you ran before, I mean, even since he's lost that election, where's he been? I mean, he's done. What is that? What's the name of that nonprofit he was over?
Wisconsin Forward, I think.
Yeah, that was supposed to tackle voter reform and voter suppression here in Wisconsin. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know, because there's some kind of behind the scenes type situation. So I don't know what they do in the forefront, how they handle what they handle, how they do it. I don't know. But dude, where you been? Been awfully quiet. Even when he was lieutenant governor, awfully quiet. He was lieutenant governor during a time where, Black Lives Matter agenda was very prevalent. And you being the first elected Black lieutenant governor of this state, didn't see you out in the forefront with a lot of that. And you had prime opportunity to do so, because as a lieutenant governor, you really don't do a whole lot. You do what the governor's office gives you to handle, but as a lieutenant governor, you ain't, you kind of, you got your own agenda along with the governor's office, but you ain't doing a whole lot. So he was kind of quiet on that forefront. I mean, I saw a couple of clips where he was on CNN and did a couple of things when he was on MSNBC during that time period. Again, when I was an avid watcher, I always see him a viewer of MSNBC. I saw him on there a couple of times talking about voting and that, but that was pretty much it. I didn't see you in the forefront. Again, as the first Black elected lieutenant governor of the state, I didn't see you in the forefront doing a whole lot at all. Even, during that time period when you could have had the time to showcase. You could have been, we was having marches and stuff here, everywhere. I went to a march, me and my daughter. Didn't see you. You wasn't nowhere to be found. I don't know what they was doing in Madison, but
what is the host name from 101.7? The one you said, the one we discussed earlier?
Kyle Wallace.
Yeah,
Kyle Wallace and Sherwin Hughes.
I'm not sure. I have to look at the clip again. But remember, he was talking about him possibly being MAGA.
Yeah, so I've heard that bandied around a couple of times, that Mandela, with him entering the race, he's been pushed also to do so by MAGA to make sure that the Republican person that's running gets in. I mean, I don't put nothing past Republicans. Money speaks. A lot of loud words, and somebody coming to you saying, "Hey, I'm."
That would be extremely disheartening if he did that. If that was
So, and again, we have to think. And this was posted this morning. If those of you that listen to WNOV, Michelle Bryant, she posed this like, okay, so knowing all the dynamics of the people that are running and the people that have announced, what is your purpose of running? What now is your platform? Because again, when he was running for U.S. Senator. And that was another complaint, is that people did not see or was not able to grasp hold of what was his plan. You can't just say, and he's an easy target, which I get it. Oh, I'm anti-Trump, so I'm going to oppose these policies. I'm going to oppose this. Okay, yeah, that's most Democrats' agenda. That's what they do. Okay, but what are you going to do specifically in getting in this U.S. Senator position? What are you going to do for your constituents of Wisconsin? What is your economic agenda? Didn't have a whole lot of that. And from what people were complaining about is that they said they went to his website during that time period. Nothing that turned folks off. They could not find any literature that says, hey, this is my policy. This is what I stand on. I've passed A, B, and C bill to do this for the constituents of Milwaukee or whatever. And like I said earlier with a guy on Facebook, we weren't going back and forth, but he had said he was going to, endorse Mandela was running. He was happy he was running. And I told him, I just put on there my feelings about him jumping in the race. And my thing is, again, you jumping in, what's the policy? David Crowley, who I am backing, has receipts. He has ran a $1.5 billion, I don't know what you call it, being the county executive. He's run a budget of a $1.5 billion. He has passed things when he was assemblyman, I believe so. He has know how to wheel and deal with those Republicans, honestly. He's got stuff that he can put forward that, hey, while I was a county exec, this is what I did for the constituents of Milwaukee County. This is what we did to make things affordable. Here are the bills that I presented to the county board, or here's the bills that the county board presented to me that we signed into action. He's got receipts that he can say, this is what I've done. I have experience with managing a large number of people. They really can't say that. Because what bills is attached to his name.
You know what sticks out about Crowley to me? I've saw him speak on a few occasions, and I love the fact that he still stays true to who he is. Mm-hmm. And he also has a philosophy of what works for different counties may not work for Milwaukee, or this. So understanding this just isn't a cookie cutter situation, and that's very important.
And thank you for saying that, Tay, because that is so very true. And a lot of times, we can't put Milwaukee under, like you said, this cookie cutter type situation, because Milwaukee is its own animal. Mm-hmm. There's a reason why the superintendent of Milwaukee Public Schools gets paid the amount of money she gets paid, because the school district that she's over, NPS, has a budget that of a city, large of a small city. Not too many cities can boast that. You know what I'm saying?
You know what though, and I know this is probably a bit far-fetched, but I think it would be super, super impactful if the other people that played the important roles, the alder person and all that, really had to be accountable for their district.
And that's a lack of us as constituents not holding them accountable.
Because even for like schools and, making sure they go in there and do their due diligence to ensure that attendance is academically.
And that's where your school boards come in, because we have school boards directors that
they all work
that represent us.
Because to me, it seems like everyone works independently instead of together. Like, you know what I mean? Like there should absolutely be conversations happening on a regular that are impactful, and someone's following up to make sure that those tasks or that those agenda projects are actually being follow through with.
And see, the problem that comes with that is they have annual board meetings that the public can come to and talk and present those same issues. Mm-hmm. But the problem is people don't come to them unless it's some drama. And then if it's some drama, then you're coming in there being disrespectful and being rowdy and talking, talking all crazy. Then you wonder why people look at Black folks sideways, because now this is what you come representing us like. Now you come in here screaming, hollering, you're cussing at the people, you're talking all sideways, to the Black man here that was a superintendent before, and I saw it. You're talking crazy to the Black man, but you had white individuals who were a part of the problem. Y'all didn't have that same smoke for them.
Never.
But you talking to the brother like he ain't worth two dead flies. You know what I'm saying? So it's stuff like that. We'll show up for things like that. It's like, even in schools, teacher can't get a hold of the parents for nothing. Parents don't come to parent-teacher conferences. We calling you. You done block the number to the school. But second your child come home and say the teacher did something to me, now you can come up to the school.
Yeah.
But you come to school talking and acting crazy.
I think that's from us as a community not having real conversations.
Yeah.
Like really backing out of uncomfortable conversation.
Yeah. So NPS is its own thing. And a lot of times, and there's no problem. I don't have an issue either with Somebody bringing something in from another city to say, hey, this worked over in Minneapolis.
Absolutely.
For their transportation issues. This is what we did to cut down on cost of running their, city bus transportation.
Yeah.
This worked. Oh, no problem with trying that. But my thing that I like about Crawley too is that he can be in any room. He can be in any room and know that he's gonna know how to wheel and deal.
That comes from his. I think I told you that I saw him speak at this gala, and he was talking about. No, I ended up asking him like, what area you from? Low end for sure, right? And he laughed about it. He was like, yeah, because he was saying he was valedictorian of the streets, and I thought that was funny. Because some people don't know, you don't have to be a product of your environment in the wrong way.
He's the perfect example of that.
Perfect. Yeah. Oh yeah, I think that's really dope. I hope I back him as well. I hope that he is the governor. I think that we'll see a lot of change.
And I think he can win statewide. And I do believe that he can appeal to those rural areas because what we fail to realize, and I think this is just something that people put in their heads or get in their heads, is that rural communities are really hit really hard. They are without a whole lot of resources that we here in the city have, and we take for granted.
Yeah.
He can go into those rural areas and say, hey, I was the county executive in Milwaukee County. This is what we brought to the county to make mental health crisis is a thing, to help with that situation, to help with the homelessness. Here's some issues we did with housing taxes.
Yeah.
So I remember, I think it was last year before that, as a homeowner, my taxes went down $200 from whatever he wheeled and did with them Republicans. I got a $200 tax credit. And my taxes were lower on my property. And now again, they went back up because of that 2% sales tax thing, and that just messed everything up. But there was and he had ran on that and said, this is what we're gonna do. He did it, and my taxes went down $200 because of that. So he's got a lot of stuff he can say, hey y'all, this is what I done. Mandela ain't got that. He ain't got the receipts. And I met Mandela, but I got a problem with him personally. I just don't think it's just his time right now to run. I think this is Crawley's time, and we need to give, let's say, those of us that are in this community, we need to give our full support to him and get him over that line. Because I'm telling y'all now, Evers has been fighting. Governor Tony Evers has been fighting the Republicans his entire time in office. He has stopped and vetoed a whole lot of bull crap that they're trying to do here in Wisconsin, especially as it pertains to voting. All that stuff Trump is trying to do and other Republicans are trying to do in different states, they are trying to do that here in Wisconsin as well. Project 2025 is trying to come here to Wisconsin, but Evers has blocked a lot of that. And because the Republicans doesn't have that super majority in the assembly and in the House here in Wisconsin State House, Evers was able to veto it, and it stayed vetoed. So we got to really start thinking about, if Republicans get the governor's mansion, we're going to be some real big boo-boo here in the state of Wisconsin. Evers fought off a lot of stuff from us, y'all. They capped off a lot of stuff. And don't forget, it was the Democratic Party when Trump and his minions went to that debacle about the SNAP, and then he wasn't going to fund it. Evers made sure that it was funded for the state of Wisconsin. That wasn't just for Black people. That was for individuals that are recipients of SNAP in this state. And it's not just Black people. It's white people. It's Hispanics. It's Asians. It's Native Americans in this state that benefit from SNAP benefits. Governor Evers made sure we got it, and we got it in full, because they were talking about only doing Trump administration was talking about paying out half. No, he made sure that you got everything you had coming to you. I was a Democrat. People had their issues with the Democratic Party. I understand. No party is perfect, but you can look back at the track record of the Democratic Party and see that they do fight for people of this country. They do want to help and supplement people's lives to make their lives easier.
I I don't understand
politics
why
is supposed to be about. That's what you're supposed to do when you're elected official. Yeah.
I don't understand why there's so many of us rooting for us to have to work harder or
because
have
that's
to
people
be
that are
in struggle
misinformed.
or
They hear one thing about something that they're doing, and you don't look into the whole bill. You don't look into what that really means. You just hear because Mr. Travis has said that plenty times. You know, I'm a Republican.
Single issue voter.
You know, I don't like gays and you know, I got to make sure that, you know, I provide for my family and I work and this and this and this and that and people that's on welfare don't do it. Wait a minute. See, you know what you're talking about. You know what you're talking about. A lot of people that are on welfare do work, but because the jobs that they're getting pay so low, that's how they're able to qualify for the benefit. And so when you don't take a whole look into that and you just spout out talking Republic, and I'm gonna change their name, Republican talking points. Yeah, Republican talking points. When you just reiterate that and you keep talking that up, that's all you say. You're just talking. You have no depth into what you're even saying. You're just saying stuff you've heard repeated. That's it. So there's no way that individuals, and I don't understand is why this is an attack on folks that's on welfare. And that's horrid. But the Democratic Party has receipts to say that we've fought for those individuals. We have tried to help and make their lives easier. There's no way in hell we're still here as the United States, as a country, and we have not raised the minimum wage. That's crazy. Give individuals a chance. That's what elected officials, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to make sure when you get in office that you're fighting for your constituents, not your own beliefs. You go there elected by the people to fight for them, not you. And that's a lot of times what people do. And again, that's why I have an issue with Mandela running right now, because I believe that it's an egoism that is fueling this as well. Because what can you say that you're going to fight for me for when you can't even come to my community and talk to people that look like me? You refused to come here, bro. When you were running for U.S. Senator, you did not come here. You refused to go to certain radio stations to talk to people that look like me. So how do I know that you're going to fight for me when you wouldn't even come talk to me? What of my interests are you going to serve if we send you to Madison again? What did you fight for us when you were the lieutenant governor? What bills did you back as lieutenant governor for your constituents here in Milwaukee? Ain't got a whole lot. So egos aside and all that, that's got to stop. And we got to start looking at putting people that are qualified through this job. Let me tell you this. Donald Trump, if he were a regular citizen, he could not be a CEO of any company, of any Fortune 500 company. He is disqualified from being a CEO of any country. Any company, excuse me. But he's the president of the United States. We got to start looking at what people's resumes are. What can they bring to the table? What are they bringing? Not can take. What can they? What are you bringing to the table? Show me your resume. I want to see the resume. And we need to start holding people accountable. That's why we have issues we have with aldermen and people, things of that nature, because we're putting non-qualified folks in these positions and then expecting them to rise to the occasion. It's like places that take out educational requirements for certain positions, and then you wonder why you got the people you got. Where you've taken away one of the big things that separates some folks is that educational piece, because now you're telling folks that, okay, I can come for this job, but I don't even have a skill set. I only have the education skill set to perform in this job at a at a high proficiency. You know what I'm saying? And that's another one. That's another issue I have. We don't keep our folks that we put into these places, in these positions, especially in the city of Milwaukee. We don't hold them to task. There is no reason, and I just called the city today while I was at work. There's no reason why you plow my street, but then you leave this big hump of snow in front of my house, like the snow's like about this high. Now I can't. You've taken parking spaces from in front of my house.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have to be inconvenienced because for whatever reason, y'all came through and you just left this big hunk of snow in front of my house. Well, I called the city. My taxes go to y'all. My taxes paid for that truck to be driving around and putting and dropping that salt. No, you need to come back and fix that.
Did they come yet?
No, I just called this morning.
Oh.
No, it was late afternoon, actually. Yeah, late afternoon. So they probably won't get to it probably either tomorrow or the next day is what I was told. But we have a responsibility as constituents and citizens of this state and of this city to hold our elected officials accountable.
Can I add to that?
Can you add to it?
Yeah,
of course.
So just because I hear the word accountability a lot, people always want to hold people accountable, but I rarely hear people talking about the people that are doing good things and uplifting those people. There are some people that actually really put, their words are powerful and they stand behind their words.
Officials?
Yeah.
Okay. Who you got in mind?
I feel like even I'll say Crowley, for instance, like a lot of people probably would turn on him because he's a black man, and it could get like that. I'm sorry. As it gets further into this, you know what I mean? Why is he better than me, or why it's more like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but I wish that we did more of that. Like I pray he does get into that role and we choose to uplift him instead of being, critical of everything he does.
Mm-hmm.
Things aren't going to change overnight. So that's what I was saying with that. So actually, like when he is in that role, just giving him some grace and patience and supporting him in that role.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I just put a thing in there in the chat for Travis. Where you at?
But so being supportive of our people when we do encourage them to go out for those positions and uplifting them during those, during the duration of that time during those.
And I definitely give David, definitely give him his flowers. He deserves them. I think he's done a really good job at the issues that he faced in becoming the county executive of Milwaukee County. I think he's turned a lot of things around. I wish they do some more things at that airport to make it look more feasible.
It would be cheaper. Jesus, it costs a lot to fly out of.
Yeah, it does. But
crazy.
I'm just talking about the aesthetics of what Mitchell looks like. Like if you go to other cities and stuff and fly in, like they got these beautiful pictures. They got these music playing.
Well, you know why people frequent those places.
It's just beautiful. You got the elected officials on the TV screen saying,
"Hey, but you travel. You travel." Is Milwaukee a place that you want to leave out of for the cost?
No, because Milwaukee is very expensive.
So you don't frequent that one as often as you would the others. True. They have the money to do that.
True.
But but even that, like that's aesthetics, yeah. But yeah, no, for real. Like when we get those people, those good people that we saw them like really push for us, we need to be supportive of that and keep encouraging them to, make those changes.
I'm a big proponent of Lena Taylor as well when she was senator. She was senator for 15 years for a reason. Because one thing you can say about her is that she was a loud talker, but she had to back up, and she had stuff to back up her loud talking.
Yeah,
she had stuff that she can say as a state senator. I backed such and such bill that got passed that helped such and such do this. This money went to schools. This money went here. These programs to help underprivileged or advantaged children. She got that, and I think honestly, I think she would have been a very good mayor had she been allowed the opportunity to do so. But I hear though, because I'm in the court system myself, we're working not in the system. I work in the system. I'm not in the system. You can go ahead and seek out my name. You ain't gonna find me. But she's doing amazing things as a circuit judge. She's giving folks chances. She's not making it punitive. She's trying to be that voice of, because folks hear and see judges and you kind of think negative. I met some really awesome judges myself too, but she's doing things, and that's kind of folks that you want in those positions.
Yeah.
People that look like you, that can speak for you, that understand you. So then you don't have all these crazy sentencing, and you don't have the disparaging sentencing with black and then white folks.
Mm-hmm.
You got more folks on the bench that look like you. A lot of that will go down. That came from that same area as you. A lot of that stuff will go down. But she's doing amazing things down there. And I forgot what branch she's in. I just saw it the other day too. It came across my email. But Lena, do your thing down there, girl. I heard you doing some great work. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep folks out of jail. And that's what we try to do now. If you deserve to go there, you go. But if there's other alternatives and we can help you and we can get to the root of the problem, that's addressing mental health, that's addressing gun safety. We see a lot of that going around. Your people don't understand how to properly store a gun in the home, how to properly handle a gun. Why is it important to do that, especially if you have children? A lot of that stuff is being addressed now coming out of her courtroom. That's what she's sentencing folks to do. Hey, you need to go take some gun safety classes. Mm-hmm. Because you'd have been before me 3 separate times, and all these are gun cases. No, we're gonna put you in some classes. We're gonna help you, and we're gonna give you some employment to supplement getting you help. We're gonna put you in some training programs that can bleed over into getting you a job. That's what it's about. That's called criminal justice reform. Mm-hmm. Not just as Republicans like to do. We tough on crime.
But they not tough on each other.
But you're not tough on each other, and you back a man that's got 34 felonies. But you tough on crime that did some of the most heinous crime that you would ever imagine.
Even to this day.
On this country. Let's not forget, January 6th, 2021. I ain't gonna never let nobody forget that. This man attacked his own country. This man also had charges of national government papers, documents that he took, wasn't supposed to. And they said, hey, man, we need our stuff back. He created a scheme to keep the stuff. So, tough on crime? Yeah. Whatever. Frank Williams, I backed everyone with 34 felonies. Said I kid. Frank, what's going on with you, man? I bought some insurance from Frank. So if any of y'all need and want life insurance, we can talk about that real quick. I do want to make sure we highlight that because folks in our community, we don't do that enough for ourselves. And life insurance is not that expensive. Okay. I have 3 policies. 2 of them, actually, I have 4 policies. I got one with my current employer, which is the state of Wisconsin, and then I have 2 other policies that I bought myself. They're not expensive. Get life insurance. Hit up Frank Williams. I'm shouting you out right now, Frank, since you're on here, since you're the only one talking to me. Frank Williams, hit him up. At Frank Williams, his name is on Facebook. It's Frank Williams. He sells insurance. Get y'all some insurance. It is not expensive, but we need to start making sure we're taking care of ourselves and making sure that we're not putting that.
He said, wait, you only got 1 with me.
No, I don't. I got 3 with you. I cover myself. Actually 4 with you alone. I got 1 for me. See, I'm gonna put my business out here. I got 1 for me. I got 2 for my kids and 1 for my wife. That you helped me get. And thank you for that. Funny. Yeah, get y'all some insurance stuff. And don't leave that burden of to your family trying to bury you. You can get a $20,000 policy for $10, $15 a month.
That's been nuts.
And that'll be enough to cover.
No, that's been nuts watching that, watching all of that stuff that happened with the funeral home.
Oh, yeah. Now, I guess we got a little bit of time. With that whole issue, and I didn't see I sell a
Well,
safety
Frank,
net.
explain that to them more.
Yeah, I don't. He said I didn't sell.
Contact
No,
him.
I sell a safety net that depends
Contact
on
him.
age and health. And most of us can qualify for the health insurance. I mean, for the life insurance if you go. But that's one each. So yeah. Buddy. What else he said? So with that, I said, oh, he said that again. So with that instance, I only read in half of that, what was happening.
Oh yeah, I didn't read it in its entirety.
And it sounded as if the person had buried their nephew or something, and the casket was left on the side of the road at the cemetery. Is that what happened?
Oh, I don't know about that.
It was left on the sidewalk or something like that. Because I remember I'm reading bits and pieces.
Yeah, it was free. I guess the funeral home offered it for free, and yeah, they said it didn't go well.
Yeah, it didn't go well. And then that and again, because I've had individuals, me in my role at the church, I've had to tell a funeral home director one time, hey, we don't talk to people like that at this church. He was being very, very rude to older people at our church. Hey, we don't talk to people like that here.
Yeah.
And that's thing people have to remember too is that when you're in the funeral business, you're seeing a person, you're seeing people at their worst.
Yeah.
So you have to be cognizant of that. And sometimes you have to let folks have that space. If they in that bad spot, I get it. Again, just goes back to what I said maybe a couple of weeks ago about when we patronize Black businesses. Yes, we are harder on ourselves than we are other people. I think that's just the inside thing. That's just how we do. But again, if you're having those kind of issues, there's nothing stopping you from calling up that funeral home and talking to that owner.
Yeah, I think I haven't planned any funerals.
I always do that.
But I think that it sounded to me, and again, I had a minimum amount of information, but it kind of sounded like it was a lack of better words, a basic package.
Yeah.
And you know, like when you get something free and you've seen someone do excellent work and they may have not gone to the extreme like they would with that premium package, and you got a basic package and you want premium things. I think it might have been a little miscommunication there.
And then we got to realize it's expensive. It's not cheap to funeralize a person.
Right.
So we got to look at that. So when certain places they're putting on these free funerals, you kind of you get what you get, but just know the quality of service that you're going to get versus.
I think that needs to be communicated though.
Yeah.
If I see you do something amazing and you tell me you're going to do something for me, I will be like, okay, you're doing it for free. My expectations aren't too high, right? Versus paying for something in full. But
we never give each other a chance. Yeah, that's true. The margin of error is very small when it comes to us. Yeah.
I think that had to do with just lack of communication, or maybe better quality, effective communication. Like they just didn't say, hey, this is what free looks like for us.
He said, well, we solve all this by shopping with your boy. Yeah, right. Yeah. I just think that whole situation probably could have been handled, had some more effective communication going out between both parties.
Yeah.
And what are your expectations? And then what is it that you're going to do? What is the level of service? What is looking like? Yeah. You got to tell folks, you just run through all of that and then let those individuals that you're servicing, let them come to that understanding of, I laid it all out for you. Let them come, okay, what they're going to do, how they're going to do it. But
it's those uncomfortable conversations in business again. Like you want to help.
Yeah.
I believe it was in a help position when it initiated. And I think that there was just
they have those services for a reason.
Yeah.
To help the community.
It was a lot of emotions, a lot of, I'll call you back. I'll get to you later. And maybe you didn't, because it's a vulnerable state.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just think, communication goes so far, y'all. Communication goes so doggone far. I just think a whole lot of talking could have went. But again, we have to learn as a people. We have to learn as people that when we open up businesses, and I'm talking about Black folks, the deck is already stacked against us.
Yeah, unfortunate.
Any kind of business we open, I don't care what it is.
Yeah,
because you have to realize white individuals in this country have gotten a 1,000-year head start on us with everything, literally. So when we have opened up a business, or we're trying to attempt to, we already got decks stacked against us. We have to keep that in mind and be careful of things that we put on social media, and we say things about each other, especially Black business owners. We should be careful about those things, because what that does is that gives white folks the okay now to bash. Well, they doing it. Let's go.
It's crazy because they're crazy supportive. In those instances, they're crazy supportive.
What?
White people. You said that gives them room to bash. They're actually much more supportive when they see that.
Are you saying they're supportive of Black businesses?
Some of them, yeah. Depends on what the business is. When they see stuff like that, a lot of them go all out for that. Yeah. You'd be surprised.
Yeah, look at that.
You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised who's pulling up to these businesses.
I just think we need to just be careful of that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
And we should be banding together. And again, it does not hurt you to call a business owner and tell them your issues that you had. Hey, I had a service. You did a service for me last week. This is what I expected it to go. This is what I expected it to be, and it was this.
Yeah, I agree, Frank. They do.
They treat our businesses better than we do. Yeah,
they do.
Yeah. Now you say that. Yeah. But
they're taught to handle business a certain way. Mm-hmm. They're taught to be understanding. They're taught to be patient. They're taught to show grace.
I told you got a 1,000-year head start.
No, that's true. That's true.
They got a 1,000-year head start. So while we look at that, we have only have gotten certain equality in this country. What the Civil Rights Act was over 50 years ago. 50 years when we were able to have equality in this country.
Yeah, that's why. That's why. I can speak for myself. Like even me wanting to do all these community initiatives, I even pull back from that. It's like it leaves you in a state of disgust, it's stupidity, and you don't even want to connect yourself with it. You know what I mean?
A lot of ignorance too.
Yeah. So the people that know things or have resources, they crawl back. You know what I mean? Let me not. Let me step back from this. I don't want to help you. It turns into I don't want to help you, and then
I don't want to help.
I don't want to help you.
Okay.
Yeah, you find yourself in that position. I don't care to even associate with you. That's how those resources. That's how a lot of people, I believe, have turned into where it looks like they're gatekeepers. Because I don't want to deal with you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
Not to say that that's something on my own, but I can better understand why it happens.
Yeah, I can see that. Definitely. Yeah, it's just I've always been a proponent of us being a people that we are an amazing group of folks. We just gotta, and again, that comes from a lot of lack of knowledge, being ignorant to certain things, or not being subjected to these things. Can we talk about our business owners on social media being unprofessional? I think that's what makes us have, a low margin of error. He says we're already looking down on each other as a people. Then the owner, who is in a better place than me, get on social media and acts crazy. How can I look at them slightly worse than I would someone else? Not for me, but in general. Yeah, I think that adds to. Because let me rephrase that. Oh yeah, it does. Yeah.
I definitely think so, and I think it depends on what's being said. Because I think that a lot of people believe once you own a business, you can't do anything, you can't respond to anything. It's how you do it. You get what I'm saying?
Professionally,
yes.
Anything. I've seen it where you leave Google reviews and the business has an automated response saying, "Hey, I think you for your You can do something like that.
Yeah.
You ain't always got to get with a person.
It's definitely not to match, but it's for sure. Hey, especially when we talking to our own people, because even with the situation that I was involved in, me asking, "Hey, let's podcast," because I think that's cool to do. You know what I mean? I do. I think it's open. When you hear people in person, I think it's different. I think sometimes in person, it's different than being, texting and messaging with each other.
Tay,
what?
You was on one during that whole.
No, I wasn't.
You cracked me up.
No, I was serious. I was so serious. I think a lot of times people are just misunderstood. I'm so serious. I think truly a lot of times people are just misunderstood.
You definitely have me entertained. I said that.
Oh, I don't even feel like I said much.
Stuff you did say was hilarious. But yeah. But folks, yeah, we just got to do better as a people when it comes to that. And that goes in what we were talking about with this Mandela Barnes issue. You know that he's the only black person running. You know what that's going to do. Again, that's why I say, what is your purpose at this point? Mm-hmm. We need to be propping county executive Crawley up at this point, because I really do think he's going to make a good run for it. And I think that if we do our part, and I'm going to pump up voting, we go out and vote, y'all. If we go out and vote, all of this craziness we see that's been going on since January of this year, all that gets cut off in the midterms, y'all. All we got to do, and I say we as liberals, all we have to do is retake the Senate, retake the House of Representatives, bam. That blunts all of that crazy stuff right there. Because now you're putting a check on Project 2025. I
think it's gonna work out. I think probably gonna win.
And next year we gotta vote. We just gotta get out there and vote. We see what happened at these elections and that just passed.
Yeah.
Like that crazy. Was a for real live blue wave. That means people was not playing like they had historic numbers, and I don't have them with me. Facts with feelings. I don't have the numbers with me. But they had historic voter turnout during those midterm elections, which you don't have.
But you know what that was about?
Was wrapped around the building, voting for stuff like city commissioner in certain cities, certain small cities, where nobody comes to vote for that.
But you know why? Because they felt it. Yeah. You have to feel it in order to. Unfortunately, people can't just go about, past or what's going on. They needed to feel it. So when things were being taken, then it just hit different. Yeah. Oh, Frank said, didn't we just do our part for the president? Yeah, Milwaukee did not, and it was hilarious because they did a map. Milwaukee did not vote for Donald Trump during this last presidential election. And I don't think Madison did either. I said Madison and Milwaukee are your two liberal cities here in Wisconsin. Yeah. Milwaukee stood up. Milwaukee did not vote. What Trump got his vote from is where it normally comes from. Your rural areas. I'm talking about your Waukesha, your Kenosha areas, Racine areas. Tulsa has even gone a little bit liberal now. Because you ride around Tulsa, you see a lot of liberal leaning things. What was it other? Ozaukee County, those places. Your Green Bay area. That's where he got his vote from. But when it came to Milwaukee, when it came to Madison, them two places was blue. And everything else around was red. So yeah, we did do our part. We just it was just enough of folks that did not vote. That was the problem. Mm-hmm. Had those number again, I don't know the number off the top of my head, but had that number of folks that did not vote, and I think it was 90 million. Did they say it was close to 90 million? Something million that did not vote. Had them folks voted for the vice president, she'd be our president. We'll be talking about Madam President right now. He says, I think there's more to it than voting. We have to change our mindset as well. None of us want to look at anything subjectively because old boy in office. Affordable Care Act prices went up without the shutdown, but we don't talk about that. We go right to him. Stuff is so much bigger than him, but we disrespect ourselves and each other by belittling everything. That is true. And those of us that don't know that the Affordable Health Care Act, those healthcare costs are going to go up. We're going to be back in the same place next month. Just to let y'all know. So we didn't win. We won some things in the shutout, with meaning that the voter turnout from that was sky high, and we had that blue wave. But we still in the battle, y'all, because they did not want to do, from what I'm hearing, the Republicans are not going to extend those benefits. Now, I heard something being banned. I don't know if that's him being drunk. No, and I'm talking about Trump, or he was high or something.
He's doing one of them rage tweeting, is saying that they now want. I heard there was some talk about them wanting to extend the subsidies in the Affordable Care Act, which again tells me that Republicans, and I'm calling it, that's the new name, Republicans, they don't have a healthcare program to present to the American people, which they had 15 years to come up with something. They still don't. They want to just extend the Affordable Health Care Act, which they call Obamacare, which is not called that. It's called the Affordable Health Care Act, ACA. They want to extend those subsidies, which is fine because that will keep the prices down. We'll see. But that's what they're talking about. But again, they have no plan to help people with health care. And that means their own constituents. That's why Republicans are so cold. They will eat their own to make sure they stay in power. They don't care about their own constituents, people that are getting harmed by their pulling back programs and things of that nature. They don't care about that. And it's hilarious to me, and since we're on this last election, and I believe the woman was from Virginia, the black woman who was running for lieutenant governor or governor of Virginia. Trump didn't endorse her. She was MAGA. Mm-hmm. Trump didn't even give her an endorsement. He didn't even come and campaign in Virginia.
She looked really sad though when they asked her why not.
When Wawa Toast is trending blue, you know El Presidente is in trouble. That's funny. He said, Frank Williams said, my boy moms died years ago from an ACA price raise. Again, years ago. Nope, prices will still raise. Yeah, people prices are raising with the subsidies. Yeah, but what they're trying to do with the subsidies.
It was like 3 times as much.
Yeah, they're trying to, the thing that Democrats were fighting for during the shutdown was to also extend more subsidies so that these prices can go down. But the Republicans keep blocking that. They've blocked it. I can't tell you how many times, but during the time that the Republicans had the House and the Senate, they blocked anything the Democrats have put up to uplift the ACA program and make it back affordable again. They have blocked all of that. Nothing is going. We have a Republican Supreme Court that's full of conservatives taking it to the Supreme Court. They knock it down. Honestly, we're going to have to retake the House and retake the Senate in order to get something really going with that, honestly, because I don't see these Republicans are not doing.
So far, it says 23 Republicans announced that they're going to resign
from Congress.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they know what's happening, and we gotta realize this too. Them people ain't stupid. They may come in and they say some stupid stuff. They ain't stupid. I am not a fan of Marjorie Taylor Greene. I will never be. This whole thing of y'all you going back and forth with Trump. I just I think that's a bunch of BS, honestly, from my opinion. And I ain't got no love, and there's no love lost for her. Say la vie. That's what I say. You retire, say la vie, have a good time. But you spent your time, Marjorie Taylor Greene, in Congress, using your platform to hurl racist epithets to the Black community of this country, to the Asian community of this country, to Hispanic community of this country. You was riding Trump's coattails in MAGA, like you was riding that magic carpet in Aladdin. You was riding it, and you didn't use any of that time to speak to the atrocities that administration was doing to this country. So I don't want all that crap you talking about now. I don't want to hear it.
She was talking it, but I think it just didn't work out. So that's why she's resigning.
People
can't take
saying, what does that do elsewhere? Food share, Medicaid, Medicare. Yeah, all that, Frank, is encompassed within the bill that they were trying to. The Democrats were trying to run to get passed. They were trying to slide those things in. So that included food share, that included Medicaid, Medicare, Section 8, all of that. Liberals are super liberal, conservatives are super conservatives. No one free thinks anymore. Those who do sit closer to the middle. MPG is covering her ass. She wants to be governor of Georgia.
Absolutely, she does.
I think there's a reason why she's retiring. And it ain't just because you're upset with Trump. Those are on the right have some political cover to vote their conscience. Yeah. And I see a lot, like you said, you said it was 23 folks that
so far.
It's up to 23 now that are retiring. Let's see what's going on. You see all this craziness. Y'all blowing up these boats in Venezuela. And like even when Michelle Bryant was here, I asked the question, when did selling or transporting drugs become a death sentence in this country? When did we as a country, now our platform is to go kill people that are trafficking drugs? So we don't go capture the boat. We don't go capture the individuals. We just blow up the whole damn thing.
Well, he pardoned a kingpin. So I don't understand.
I forgot the man's name. Morocco, something like that. Yeah. MTG.
So is it about drugs or not?
Again, whatever this administration does, whatever they say they're doing, best believe it's a cop for something else. Okay? So when they say that, we don't want to have SNAP benefits, they thought that it was going to harm the Black community more than anything. And they came to the realization real quick that it was their own constituents that was going to be hurt the most by it. So again, it wasn't because we want to make people work and we need to cut money from this program and do all this. No, it was because they intended to hurt Black people. That's why I do not have a lot of say for Black conservatives. That is the main reason why, because that party continues to show you that you mean diddly to them. You are just a token.
Yeah, that is crazy. Frank was talking about her resigning 2 days after, her pension starts.
She resigned 2 days after her Congress. Yep. Nick, because they are both in cahoots playing in our face. Ain't no way we allow her to resign for whatever reasons that you probably laid on an American dime. It's just I can't get it. And I just hope we get together. I think both sides do that. Yeah, I'm not saying that the Democratic Party is the best that did it and got away with it. All I'm saying is that I will fare more with aligning myself with the liberal policies of this country versus the conservative policies of this country. Liberal policies of this country has affected me greatly in a great way. It has allowed me to be where I am today. It has allowed my wife to continue to have health care and get access to health care during her time. They have allowed my grandmother, when she was alive, to keep her health insurance and not get overpriced. They allowed my mother to get insurance. It just keeps going on. Those policies that are put in place help me greatly. But I don't see nothing on the other side that makes me say, oh, that's a good policy to have, or that's a good stance to take. It's no, I'm taking from people. I'm cutting this. I'm making sure you don't have this. And it's all because they have evil individuals that just want to just do evil to folks. Even when they cut on the SNAP benefits, they were saying people were intentionally cutting off the EBT machines so they couldn't work. Like, how low can you go? Seriously, that's low. Intentionally cutting up in certain states, the Republican governors were cutting off those machines. Said, no, don't turn them on. It's just craziness. Both paid. He said when the late Reagan administration, conservatives gave us dope. Yep. And now y'all in Venezuela blowing up drug boats and showing
alleged drug.
Yeah, and showing little to no evidence of, okay, well, can we get a name of the people that was on the boat? Can we get, where these drugs come out of? Where did they come from? They had to be manufactured somewhere, so they're getting them from where? Okay, so where are they coming from? Where's the drug plants? Where's nothing? We get nothing. But we blew up this boat. We done killed 11 people. And then, from what I heard, this was just this morning, Hegseth, who's the worst, and not just because he's on Trump's administration, but he's the worst Secretary of Defense. I'm not calling it the Department of War. That's not what it's called. It was the Department of War in the 1800s. It's the reason why we don't call it the Department of War, idiots, anymore. It's called the Department of Defense. It's the reason why that is. But he made sure, gave the order to make sure that if anybody survived, and there were 2 people that survived this last boat bombing, they died. No survivors is the ruling and edict that he gave to our Defense Department, which means they killed. Now you're just not blowing up. So now you're murdering people. Y'all, watch. A book is going to be written. Something's going to come out.
Oh, it's going to be a ton of books.
You watch. I'm telling you. Y'all just watch. Drug money did fund everything. We funded schools, churches. F that. Department of War sounds better. Man, get out of here. Department of War sounds better. That was the terminology. That was the name back in the 1800s. Is the reason why it's not Department of War anymore. Why it's called the Department of Defense. But whatever. Who wants to fight the Department of War? Nobody. Now you tell the jokes. Well, that's all I got, y'all. Hopefully next week the platform is going to be a debate style type podcast. I think I talked about that maybe a week or so ago. I'm trying to get together. Travis Clark,
he's not coming.
Where you at, man? If not, I'm gonna just have to go this different way because I was trying to get one person that's on the liberal side, one person that's independent, and one person that's a conservative. That's what I want to do, but
who's your independent?
I need you here. I was gonna get Chambers, Travis Chambers. He's independent.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna get him. Yeah, we're gonna get him. We're gonna have Jordan. 3 men. We're gonna have Jordan and both Travises. Yeah. So you telling me you would fight the Department of War or Department of Defense? I'll fight the Department of Defense all day before I mess with the more people. Oh, funny. Nick Wrestler on the right. Generally speaking, they don't have a plan. At least give me a reasonable, moderate Republican. Yes, like I liked. I can say I liked, but
Frank, who's that?
Kasich. I like Kasich out of Ohio. I think he was a moderate Republican that I could listen to and listen to. John Kasich was his name. He was cool.
Frank said he got a conservative.
He do?
Mm-hmm.
1 second, I got one. Who? Okay, where are you at? Tell him to inbox me. At least come with me to something resembling a plan and coherent political argument, and I'll be there waiting to get things done. And like I said, it's not that I have a problem with Republicans. I really don't. But you all have allowed your party to be hijacked by white supremacists, and you can't tell me what your plan is or some kind of semblance of a plan that you have to better this country, to help a person that looks like me to advance in this country. Nothing. Everything is about what the Grand Wizard at 1600 West Pennsylvania Avenue wants to do. It's all about him. Y'all have let this people, you can't tell me one Republican policy, conservative policy that the Republican Party now stands for. You're not even your party anymore.
Yeah, it's sad.
Like they can't
all of them have been compromised. They really have to come out those seats. Yeah. It doesn't even make sense.
It's crazy. Anymore. I'm on my iPad trying to find his Facebook. It's not his real name. Okay, when you find it, Frank, you got my number. Either text me or you can inbox me because I really want. Tay said I got to be good when we have this. I'm going to. If we have him come, and I'm assuming he's a black conservative.
Yeah, you have to be the moderator. You
I'm going to be the moderator, and I'm going to be at my best behavior, and I'm going to let the folks fight their own battles. But I just can't help it, y'all. I just, like I put it up yesterday, I don't like Sambos, and I think a lot of these black Republicans are that. Sambos. The Republican Party has shown y'all they don't give a damn about you. They have no policy or no agenda to help black people. Nothing. Or not even just black people, but people of color. Y'all rail against the LGBTQ community. Who cares? If we are, and I don't like our national anthem, but it says land of the free, home of the brave. So if we are free, we should be allowed to love who we love. If we are the land of the brave, we should be brave enough to be able to come out of the closet and identify with our sexual orientation, whatever that may be, and not be shunned for it, not have evil things done to us because I identify or I want to identify as this. Land of free. You should be able to identify whatever you want to.
But a lot of our people don't stand for anything. That's why. And that's okay to do.
What do you mean,
that's,
black people, or you mean
black people?
No.
A lot of black people don't stand for anything. That's why it's okay.
Right. He said exactly. When your party gets hijacked by bigots and hate mongers who want to attack black, brown, disabled, and queer folks, you're not serious. That's not a platform. And me and Travis argue back and forth about that because that's the first thing they go for.
No.
That's the first thing they go for is when you say, what policies, first thing they go, it's trans. Why are you so scared of trans people? They ain't bother you.
Travis.
You know what I'm saying? But he talks, but I've heard other black Republicans say that's the very same thing.
No, you're right.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't think Travis knows.
Yeah, that's a whole nother segment.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, the first thing y'all talk about is, I heard of it. Scott Walker. They did a Foxconn deal. That Foxconn deal was bullshit. That Foxconn deal has not done a tenth of what it was supposed to do. That Foxconn deal was to enrich the wealthy people here in this state. That's all it did. That's all it did. And that's the thing. I can't see the Democratic Party allowing a person of Trump's aura or ilk to come and just hijack that party like that. Now, what I say about the Democratic Party, I really do wish they take up a lot of more of the social reforms that people call themselves Democratic Socialists. I think they could take up some of those agendas and put those up. I'm just like, what couple of things that Mandami, that won the mayorship in New York, a couple of things that he was talking about doing that raised up, people was thinking it was controversial, but I don't think so. It's just about busing, about transportation, making things cheaper, lowering the prices of fares. Sometimes he's making them to the point where they're free. There's no problem with that.
Do you think that Democrats are soft?
Sometimes they can be.
What would you like to see from them?
And then when I say soft, I mean because I love Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House. Nancy Pelosi was no joke.
Yeah.
Now, she was a tough cookie. I love me some Nancy. But I think a lot of times the Democrats like to take that high moral ground. And so you're not fighting as hard. And that appears to make them soft. But you got to look at the things that are their stances. And they'd like to take, like I said, that moral high ground, which Republicans don't care. They're going to get down in the dirty. Look who's ahead of their party. They don't care. They'll run it and they'll get lockstep behind that person just as long as they gain power. But a lot of times Democrats can appear as being soft. And I think sometimes it does appear that they are soft. It's just that they take that moral ground. My cousin is super on the far right, yet won't tiptoe out of the closet. Any guess why we no longer speak? Yeah. That's the y'all rage against one community. Y'all just mad. Then y'all take all these things that the military had set up, for a lot, those discriminatory rules and regs that it's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, I think the Democrats, they take that high moral ground and that makes them look like they're weak because they're not going to think low, which though Gavin Newsom in California, what they just did in California with those congressional maps, he did the smart thing. The Republicans will go the legal ways of gerrymandering things. He took it to the people and said, hey, here's a referendum we're going to put on. This is a referendum. This is why we're doing it, because you got to fight fire with fire at this point, at some point. Okay. So what the Republicans did down in Texas, gerrymandering those districts and pushing black Congress people out to put white Republicans in to gain a majority in the House of Congress. So you got congressmen, those congressional districts in there, cutting out that stuff, which was illegal, but they got it passed. Newsom said, no, we're going to take it to the people. Let the people vote on it. And the folks said, oh, okay, got it. That thing passed. I think the number is referendum 50. I think that passed so quick that night of that blue wave. I think within an hour, California had it done. And that's the way to do it. You got to fight fire with fire. Okay, y'all gonna gerrymander some stuff to had y'all add 5 more seats. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing, but we're gonna do it the correct way. And now California is going to be able to stave off what the Republicans try to do down in Texas. They fight illegally to get that power. They're trying to balance that power so they can keep the majority in the House, in the Senate. Well, most likely, more so the House right now is what they're fighting for. Newsom was cold with that. I got to give him credit. That I've never even seen that. And but like he said, this time we have to fight fire with fire. And these people, they don't play fair at all. Democrat socialists win mayor's races in New York City and Seattle. Things about to get interesting. Yeah. Oh, Frank said he found him and inboxed him. Okay, perfect. Yeah, inbox him, hit him up, let him know he got to be scared. We're just gonna ask some questions, and he gets to state his views. And it's gonna be it's gonna be a debate style type situation. So he get to spout whatever he want to spout and stand on whatever he want to stand on with the questions, and that's about it. We ain't gonna attack him. Trust me, I'm gonna be on my best behavior. Gavin Newsom ain't playing no games. The man runs the 4th largest economy in the world. Yeah, you saying game on? Yeah. So I think if we had more individuals like that, we'd be good. Not saying that we're bad. I just, my thing is that sometimes I wish they would fight just a little bit harder. But yeah, but I don't have a problem with democratic socialism at all. I think that will benefit us. If we could tackle those things to our agenda and get them moving forward, I have no problem with anything actually that they're trying to run against. Some of it's pie in the sky, like I call it, but whatever. McFarland Newsom, since he was the mayor of San Francisco, he's the real deal. Oh yeah, definitely is. So yeah, I'm gonna end it tonight. Thank y'all for tuning in. Next week, the plan is to have this debate style. We're gonna set it up in here some type of way. I don't know how, but we'll get it together. Hey, y'all have a good evening. Again, like I started out, love each other, be with each other, hug each other. Because again, tomorrow is just not promised, y'all. Stay safe, stay warm, and we'll see y'all next week.